Preston, the Saturday Rivals! The Saturday Rivals!
What is up, everybody? Guys, it's game week. There are college football games, being played out of the country, which is stupid. This isn't the NFL. But hey, there's college football games that we need to talk about. Okay, we got USC playing a nobody. We got North Carolina, TCU. I think they're playing in Ireland or something. Are we excited for Week 0? Do we think Week 0 is I think this is the last year they're having Week 0. But how do we feel about Week 0 in general? Do we like it? Do we not like it?
I don't hate it, don't love it. I'm kind of in the middle of it. I will say this. I think Virginia Tech missed a gigantic opportunity to just command Week 0. Because if I was Virginia Tech, I would be having a home game, Week 0, so everybody's watching me to see what that crowd looks like and just lock that in every year. But what is it? What'd you say, UNC and TCU, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's really
Ireland.
the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy B, baby.
I mean, I don't really care. The North Carolina TCU game being the biggest one just kind of says it all. I think just a few years ago, there were some big games in Week 0, and that's kind of died down, I guess, in recent years. But I mean, the games you just listed, I had no idea were happening this weekend until you just said it. So, I think that kind of describes Week 0 for me. I'm not really paying attention all that much. Just get me to Week 1. So.
I'm glad you said that because it reminded me that I actually adore Week 0 because my biggest gambling win of all time was that Florida State-Georgia Tech game. I completely forgot about that.
And that was in Ireland, I think,
Yeah.
right? Was it in Ireland? All right.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm picking North Carolina over TCU. There you go. You heard it here
There's
first.
also an ACC conference game that week, or Week 0, NC State and Virginia. It's Memphis, UNLV, G5 implications, Week 0.
That's a good one. That is a good one right
interesting.
there.
Florida State plays Preston's favorite. They play New Mexico State. Are they going to win? I don't know. The thing that's kind of taken over, because we're all, like literally everybody, the entire planet, is just itching and waiting to get to Week 1 of college football, to football to start, is that everybody's freaking losing their minds over every single little thing that happens, okay? Everything that's happening, everybody loses their minds. And so the latest thing that's happened today, and I texted the boys and said that I'm going off on this, and if we would have started in the morning when I sent this, it probably would be bigger, but it's kind of died down a little bit based on the Big Ten and SEC coming out with rules for this whole players coming back from the NFL or pro players playing and all this kind of stuff. So real quick, we'll show the statement from the SEC on the screen. If you're watching on audio, I'll read it for you. Following meetings with the presidents, chancellors, and athletic directors of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC will enforce the following policy. An SEC institution is not permitted to have an athlete on its roster who has, number 1, previously declared for the NFL, NBA, or WNBA, who cares, draft, and did not appropriately withdraw. Number 2, signed a contract with an NFL or other professional football league, NBA/G League, or WNBA, who cares, or affiliate team. Or, number 3, been listed on an NFL or other professional football league, NBA/G League, or WNBA, who cares, or affiliate roster. The commissioner is authorized to enforce this expectation with penalties against member institutions. So, Preston, I'll let you have the floor. Why don't you give us just your general thoughts on what has transpired the past couple of days, and if this statement from the SEC actually means anything?
I mean, I think it's kind of common sense. If you go professional, you should not be able to take that step down. You made your decision to declare for the draft, to get drafted. It got to that point. Like, if you made it all the way to April, then you're signed, sealed, delivered, buddy. Sorry, hate to break it to you. So I I don't get why this is getting blown up, because it should be easy. Yes, if you go pro, there's no going back. Like, it should be that simple. Like, we shouldn't have Matthew Stafford say, "Oh, I want to go back to Georgia for a year." Like, that shouldn't happen. Everybody knows that shouldn't happen. So I think it's ridiculous that we're even talking about it, honestly.
Mason, thoughts?
Okay. I think the whole thought process behind an NFL player, a guy who signed an NFL contract, coming back to play college, kind of ridiculous. I think everybody can kind of get behind all that. Funny enough, I actually find myself agreeing with Ryan Day on his comments on this. I didn't really think I'd be there, but he basically came out in his press conference and said, we're 2 weeks out from the season and our roster is not locked yet. Like, this is the world that we're living in college football right now. It's kind of ridiculous. But also, if everybody's going to have the ability to recruit these guys, then yeah, of course, we're going to go out and do it. We're going to do what's best for our team. I agree with that completely. If it is available to you to get those guys, then I think as a team and as a coach, you got to do what's best for your team to upgrade your roster. Now, I don't agree with it. I think once you sign that NFL contract, you're done. Like, you got to kind of dip out and go do your thing in the NFL. If you're going to get cut, maybe you should have thought about that at first. But the fact that Daquan Wright can go and play in a preseason game and be warming up on the field 2 days before signing with LSU is it's a little ridiculous to me. I got an ant on my screen. Did you see that?
Okay, so I will generally agree that NFL players and professional athletes should not be going back down to college ever. Like, that shouldn't happen. Here's the caveat, and here's where it gets messy, because there is nuance in the specific situation that happened that has blown up because it's LSU and because it's Lane Kiffin, which is why it blew up in the first place. Is the whole NCAA screwing over the class of 2022 with their 5-for-5 rule. They passed the 5-for-5 rule that says you have 5 years to play 5 years no matter what. But the 22 class, you don't get to be grandfathered in. You're screwed. Bye. See you later. And the judge and multiple people advised the NCAA to not do that, to just give them the waiver, and then we would be done. Well, because they didn't do that, we now have all of these lawsuits, like the one that happened in Colorado, which is the main one, which has granted eligibility to these players that are like Daquan Wright or Jack Pyburn or the kid that is at UCLA, Trent Hendrick, or there's an offensive lineman for Texas. Like, there's already multiple players that have already said we're going to X school that have tried out for NFL teams, been on NFL teams, whatever. I have the sympathy for these players because, like, Preston, you mentioned, hey, like, if you would have known, like, you waited all to wait till April and then you're changing your mind now. Well, in April, this wasn't a rule. Like, they didn't have a choice. It wasn't one of these situations like R.J. Lewis, who is the basketball player that got an injunction for LSU to play at LSU. He left early. He declared for the draft early 2 years ago or whatever it was. And because he decided to forfeit his rights and go to the NBA. Him coming back, like, I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with him coming back and trying because it didn't work out in the G League or whatever. But that's completely different from these guys that are in the 2022 class that played their 4 years and was told, all right, see you later. But now they're also being told, hey, you're eligible, but also you're not because we told you weren't eligible, so you tried to go to the NFL, but now you're eligible, but we're not going to let you play because you went to the NFL. But we told you had to go to the NFL. So it's like one of these, like, tricky situations of, like, you get the courts involved and you get all these adults involved. And that's where I'm like, hey, like, if you want to say that they're eligible, then they're eligible. If we want to say they're not eligible, then they're not. And so you have the SEC and the Big Ten come out and you have this whole hoopla of the entire sports media losing their minds because it's Lane Kiffin and it's LSU getting this tight end who got cut before final cuts were even done, coming back and coming to school because he was told that he's eligible to do that. The statement reads as if, and everything that if you look on X or look on Twitter or look at the news, like Greg Sankey and the Big Ten have these huge consequences if you do, but the lawsuits are going to come. And they're not going to come from the schools, they're going to come from the players. Because you're effectively saying, we are not following court orders. And there's already something come out from Ross Dellinger tonight that I saw right as we were starting, that one of the lawyers for one of the court cases somewhere, I don't know if it's Louisiana or if it's one of the other ones, that they're already, like, they are filing a motion to hold the NCAA in contempt of court because of its member conferences are now rejecting or not going along with the court order. So, like, you're just opening up this whole world of lawsuits and ugliness, which all could have been avoided if the SEC and the Big Ten didn't drag their feet on the whole Protect College Sports Act. If they didn't wait until the last minute to give support for that, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. This whole thing wouldn't be as big of an issue as it is. But again, it's adults not giving a crap, adults doing whatever they want to do, and they just try and react to fires that happen here and fires that happen there. And, like, that's just my feeling on it. Like, I don't have the strong feeling of absolutely he has to play, but also, dude, he got a TRO, he got an injunction, they say that he's able to play, so if he's allowed to play, and everybody's allowed to recruit him, which a lot of people did, then, okay, let him play. It's literally a one-time thing. This isn't like, oh, they're going to go get Matt Stafford, or they're going to go get this guy that's played in the pros for 3 years and get him on the team. That's never going to be an option. This was a one-year, one-time potential issue that is now going to keep going even after those statements and after these rules have been in place by these conferences. And this is the test of, can conferences break away and do their own thing? My opinion is no, because you're going to get the same problem. Yeah, it might be a unanimous vote from the presidents that, yeah, we want to follow these rules. But as soon as it impacts you, just like it is with the NCAA, you're going to sue your own conference and you're not going to follow the rules. That's just how it's going to be. So it's going to have to take the Protect College Sports Act or some other government thing that's going to have to happen. Otherwise, there's going to be these conferences and these other people spending loads of money on lawyers and all of these different lawsuits that are all going to happen at once.
So let me ask you this, because, yes, I agree with you. I do think that the lawsuits are going to be flying in. But I'll also kind of hark back to the SEC's had a rule in place basically since the transfer portal stuff opened up, where when it was the 2 windows, if you entered in the first window, you were fine to go SEC to SEC. If you opened in the second window, there's no transferring from one SEC school to the next SEC school. That's not an NCAA rule. That's just a conference rule that I think only the SEC abides by. So do you think there could be a situation like that within the SEC where they're just like, hey, we're not recruiting these guys, and so they kind of avoid any lawsuit that comes with it? I guess the only holdup would be LSU's already got two guys out of it. So,
well, like I think, well, like back in that was like before the whole we're not following the rule things really started to blow up. And also, like, a lot of times in the spring window portal, there weren't a lot of people that went into the portal from the SEC weren't players that other SEC programs probably really wanted. Like, you know, if you know, name your quarterback back then was the star quarterback. If they go into the transfer portal and Auburn needs a quarterback and they really need him, he's the only one that went in, I could definitely see a possibility then that maybe Auburn would have fought that. But I just think we're such in a period where nobody cares about following the rules, whether it be LSU or Texas or UCLA. Going back to UCLA has a guy that transferred from JMU to UCLA that literally declared for the draft. The Big Ten came out with a rule saying that you basically can't declare for the draft, but they gave the exception to this UCLA player. Make that make sense.
I think the way they went with it was because that guy went undrafted, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think he actually signed a contract with the 2 practice squads that he was going out for this upcoming season.
I mean, I understand what the stupid argument that they want to give is, but it doesn't fix what what the outrage was. Like the outrage from those people in the Big Ten was, oh, professional athletes. Like, hey, this guy is basically a professional athlete, went to the draft, applied to be in the draft, went to training camps and tried to try out, but we're going to allow him. And they tried to the whole media and everybody was framing it as, oh, the Big Ten is coming out strong against this, but the one player that's actually should have been impacted is not being impacted. Okay, so I call it faux outrage and faux rulings. You're just doing something because we want to make the statement and we want the good PR from the Big Ten, which is what they've all been about this whole freaking offseason since they're on this whole thing. But, it's all going to be in court, and the Protect College Sports Act is needing to happen. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA created this mess purposefully to push for that legislation to be passed as soon as possible. I would not be surprised at all if that was really the case.
My thing on it is, Cam, I agree with everything that you said before about the class of 2022 and that should have been done way before all this had taken place, right? That 5th-year option should have just been given to them instead of waiting until July for that to become a thing. But, yeah, with the SEC, they put out a statement, I think it was yesterday, where they said, in regards to this, essentially, that the Protect College Sports Act must advance, right? It's about time that you got on the train and actually understood that you need rules. So I don't know what it is that they've been exactly discussing with Congress or with, other, member schools about what needs to change with that, but it just needs to pass. We've been talking about this for months now and nothing's happened. Nothing has moved, right? And to me, again, I think it could be that the NCAA just wanted this mess to occur so that this legislation could just get pushed even further and to say hey, we need it. But I mean, in all honesty, this could just be the NCAA doing what they've done the past several years now and just not enforcing rules and not taking a step forward to do their job that they're supposed to be doing. And all these other schools and all these other conferences are just going right under them and they have no power to enforce anything.
So how do they handle it now with the 2 LSU guys at this point? I mean, they've signed, right?
I don't know if they have officially assigned or not when it comes to the 2 Ole Miss guys. I don't know. I would assume. I mean, I know that. Let me see if I can pull up Ross Dillinger's tweet real quick.
Because that was the other thing that threw me off too. It's the whole transfer within the SEC window was obviously closed, and so they're entering the portal from Ole Miss technically, I guess, and then still going to LSU.
Yeah, I mean, so the whole judge order created a specific portal window for these 2022 players, and to be quite honest, this whole thing is more than just football. It's all sports. I'm hearing and reading stories about track and field guys and college baseball and basketball and all these other non-generating, money-generating sports of, you have all these kids that are now trying to enter. And so, I'm pretty sure from what I remember looking at it is that there's a specific window that all of these players, regardless of sport, had to enter the portal, this special portal window for them. And technically, are they transferring from Ole Miss, or are we saying that they technically transferred from something else? I don't know how that. I don't know. You look at the graphic, and that's what it looks like. Whenever On3 did it, it's funny. But here's what Ross Dellinger put out 2 hours ago. Ryan Downton, one of the attorneys representing players in the Louisiana case, tells Yahoo Sports that the NCAA should be held in contempt of court for permitting conferences under its purview to blatantly violate court orders, and he plans to file such a motion. Separately, Downton says attorneys are considering the appropriate legal response to hold the Big Ten and SEC accountable for their cartel-like coordination with the NCAA. It is clear that attorneys are poised to file legal challenges against the two conferences. Darren Heitner, representing Daquan Wright, who was/is expected to soon sign with LSU, believes that the language in the Louisiana injunction provides a colorable argument to cover conference-wide policies as well. Wright's reps are figuring out next steps in real time.
I never thought I would hear a comparison between the SEC and the Big Ten to the cartel. But there's a first time for everything, apparently.
First time for everything. And this is the problem with, we'll just break away and form our own league. Ain't gonna happen, dog. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, we're 2 weeks away from the season. A week and a half at this point, and we're sitting here talking about this.
But, also, hey...
It's just ridiculous, dude.
It is ridiculous.
I get it, but it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And also, hey, the Big Ten's, going back to the Big Ten and the whole UCLA guy, hey, if you're good enough to make an NFL roster, whether undrafted or not, you can't come back. But if you're not good enough and you can't make a team or sign a contract, come on back to go to UCLA, come on back to Indiana. It's fine. You're not good enough for the NFL. You're good enough for us. So it's just stupid. It's stupid. And
it should just be as blatant to say that once you declare, you're done.
I just think this should just be a one-time thing. This should just be a because it is a one-time thing. Hey, any 2022 player that would have his fifth-year eligibility is allowed to come back. Yeah. Because if anybody is actually making an NFL roster, they're not going back to college. These are all going to be guys that don't make rosters, that couldn't make rosters, that signed a $10,000 check. That's with Jack Pyburn, I think, with the Bucks. He signed a $15,000 signing bonus just to try and make the team. So these are guys that aren't going to make the NFL. These aren't legit NFL pro players. So it's a one-time thing. It's not a big deal. You get to save all this money from lawsuits and don't have this stupid black eye bullcrap that you have right now. But you know what? The SEC and the Big Ten are billion-dollar organizations now and just want to fight it and try and prove what their muscle is. And I think that they're going to take the L and take it on the chin on this one. I don't know if any of those players are going to play this season because of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's serious compensation issues that might come up from these lawsuits.
Okay, so here's the last thing that threw me off on it. So you just had old buddy from Tennessee got suspended for 2 games because he paid for somebody paid for a $500 flight to a draft workout that wasn't. It wasn't even actually a draft workout, and then he paid the guy back, and then now we're sitting here saying Jack Pyburn signed a $10,000 deal to try and make the Bucks or whatever it was.
It doesn't make any sense, man. The NCAA
now
is
he's down
to
to one game, though. One game suspension now for the Tennessee guy.
The NCAA, just wants to do anything and everything to just try to enforce something on any of these teams. And Josh Heupel came out and said, well, that's BS. Literally, in a press conference, said that. So, hey, man, it's where we're at. It is where we are at right now.
All right, we're going to move on. I'm tired of talking about this, and I'm tired of looking at all the simpletons that just read a headline and be like, oh, NFL player, this is dumb. It's hey, you don't actually get the point. It's fine. That was Preston earlier today.
Whatever.
You were too busy to keep going with me at Chick-fil-A, so
I think Tim Tebow's got another year. If you want to hit that one, hit him up.
Hey, he could have a fifth year.
I don't need Tim Tebow with the Gold's gym membership coming back to play quarterback. I'm good.
All right, so this was supposed to start off and really be our preview episode or so's, okay? We might have multiple here because of how long this is, but we just spent 25 minutes on stupid stuff. So we are getting into preview season. We are going to do all 4 of the Power 4 conferences previews. We're going to get into some national predictions as well when it comes to the Heisman and our playoff predictions. And so we are going to start off with the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. Is it finally going to be ran and won by Miami? Could it be somebody else? So I'll just ask the question to start off with: can anybody in this conference challenge Miami?
Off rip, I would say no. But the fun thing about the ACC this year is there are a decent amount of very, very intriguing teams. Just ripping off the list, you got to look at Louisville. I think that's been one team that a lot of us, or the three of us, have kind of been in on as at least a sneaky team going forward. NC State, you talked about them playing week 0. They're kind of sneaky. Same thing with Virginia. Obviously, SMU with Kevin Jennings, they could have a very good season. That's just kind of where the ACC to me is, though. It's like Miami's at the top, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like throw a dart in a dartboard and tell me what you're looking at that point.
I agree with you, Mason. I think Miami's the clear number one. I really like Darian Vinca at quarterback, and then Malachi Toney at wide receiver, and then Mark Fletcher as well. So like that entire roster is stacked, and like Mario Cristobal is always going to have the line of scrimmage ready to go at Miami. So I'm not worried about that, even with them losing 2 really good players with Francis Mauigoa and then Reuben Bain. But yeah, I agree. I think it's like literally just throw a dart and see what sticks. Like you could have a number of teams. Like you didn't even bring it up, but I'll bring it up. Like you could have Virginia Tech in there, but possibly. Like you never know what James Franklin can do in his first year there. And I just looked it up. He has a kid, Ethan Grunkenmeyer, who transferred from Penn State, has starting experience. So he's going to be the starting quarterback there. But, I don't know what to expect out of the ACC. I would expect Miami to win it, but I think that was also the expectation last year, and they didn't.
And the year before that.
So, anything can happen at this point.
Can y'all believe that Miami has yet to win this conference? Like, since they joined? They have not won the ACC since they left the Big East for it.
It's such a fun
They
stat.
need to just go back. We need to just recreate the Big East so that Miami can win their conference and get out of it without having to go 10-2 to barely squeak into the playoff.
Guys,
we need to
freaking Duke won this conference last year.
Manny Diaz.
I think almost
man.
everybody forgets
Former Miami
this.
coach. Former Miami coach, Manny Diaz.
Like Miami didn't even get in the conference championship game last year. It was freaking Duke and Virginia. And so, like, here's the thing. Miami should win this thing. I don't know if they will, based on history alone. Okay? Could be Louisville. Could be, listen. How are we feeling about little Clemson with old Dabo Sweeney? Like, everybody sold him. Apparently, Josh Pate came out today before we started recording that he is predicting Clemson to the conference championship game to face Miami. Is there any consideration for Clemson maybe being good enough just to be good in the ACC, or what do we think?
They'll be good in the ACC. I just don't see them making it to the conference championship. I think Louisville overall is a better team than Clemson this year. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big problem with Clemson for me right now is what are you getting out of their quarterback? I mean, Cade Klubnik was supposed to be a savior for them after Trevor Lawrence left, but he kind of hit a brick wall and did nothing after his first year. And so it's Vizinha, I think it is, starting for them this year.
Vizinha, yeah.
Local kid to us, so could be exciting. I don't know, but I mean, they're kind of at the point where you really don't know what you're getting out of them because they haven't had a wide receiver on the outside do anything for them in years at this point. Their running game was a little underwhelming last year. So do they improve off of what they had last year, especially after losing a handful of guys? I don't know, but at the same time, you still kind of just imagine them in the national championship games against Bama and actually beating Bama. So I hate it, but I don't
Mason, those years are gone. Let's just tell you that now. Those years are never coming back.
Yeah. On both sides, unfortunately.
Hey, he admits it.
I did admit that. Don't get me started.
How do we feel? Let's maybe talk a little bit more SMU. Kevin Jennings coming back third year. 2 years ago, They're runners up in the conference to Clemson, but still go to the playoff. Didn't have the greatest showing against Clemson or against Penn State in the playoff, but they made it. Rhett Lashley back for another year. Year 3 with Kevin Jennings. They beat Miami last year at home. They actually have a pretty manageable schedule. I don't think they play any of the top dogs that we're thinking about in the conference. I think maybe they play Louisville, but other than that, like, they don't play Miami. So, like, do we think that SMU could maybe make a push for a playoff spot and winning the conference?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
No, okay. My no was to your first question. I don't see them making a push for the playoffs. To me, the ACC this year, it's going to be the same as last year. There'll be a one-conference bid. If Miami wins the conference, obviously they'll lock that in. If not, they'll have to make some special rule. It wasn't a rule. They just made I can't even think of the word I'm trying to push out, but they just had to squeeze Miami in there over Notre Dame last year. I can see them doing that again this year if Miami doesn't win the conference. But I don't see them making a push for the playoffs. I do see them making a push in conference, but I don't necessarily think that they can overtake Miami.
I think I kind of agree with you there, because my yes was more toward winning the conference. Again, we have not seen Miami do it. So it's still up in the air. Like, Miami is capable of doing it for sure, but like you said, Kevin Jennings going into his 3rd year, I don't think many people are really taking that as serious as it probably is. Like, he was a really good quarterback 2 years ago, and people, I guess, forget it. And then last year, I don't even, know how SMU finished, but, that team is still very good. And Rhett Lashley's a really good head coach, really good offensive play caller. So I could see SMU pulling off a number of upsets. I mean, they beat Miami last year. So, who knows, man? They could pull something out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see if I can find a good graphic for their schedule to see if I can show that. If not, I'll just read it off. But I couldn't really find a good one just right quick off the bat. But, I mean, their schedule, when it comes to conference schedule, is pretty manageable. They open up at Florida State week 1, UC Davis, then at Louisville week 3, then Missouri State, Boston College, then they're off. Then they play Virginia and California, both at home. They're at Syracuse, then home against Virginia Tech, Wake Forest. And the biggest game on their schedule is at Notre Dame, November 21st, and then they finish the year at Stanford. So, I mean, the 2 hardest games on their schedule is going to be at Louisville, at Notre Dame. You split those, you're a one-loss team going into the conference championship probably. And depending on what else is going on in the rest of college football, I wouldn't be surprised if, a one-loss or, if a second loss comes in the conference championship for SMU, if they're not possibly quote-unquote stealing a bid from the SEC or Big Ten. I wouldn't be super surprised on it.
I wouldn't either, because we just saw that happen 2 years ago. So, I mean, because what was it? Alabama got left out so that SMU got in. That's what happened 2 years ago, I think it was, right? So,
yeah, but I think they were a one-loss team after the conference championship that year.
Were they a one-loss team or were they a 2-loss team? Because
I really
want to
say
have
that.
Lost the game before that.
Yeah, I don't totally remember, but I want to say that Clemson loss was their first loss.
Yeah. I don't remember
exactly.
I don't remember exactly what their record was. I don't remember them going into that game undefeated. All I remember is that people were favoring SMU because of the respect of, hey, you made it to your conference championship. You were the runner-up. You should not hold that against them.
Oh,
right?
100%.
And that's what we just saw with Alabama last year. Alabama got in because they were the runner-up in the SEC. So, I mean, I think
they were
that,
a 2-loss
to be fair,
team
that could happen. Yeah.
They lost to BYU, it looks like week 3, and then they were a one-loss team but didn't lose any conference games, and they lost to Clemson. So they were a 2-loss team going into the playoff.
Yeah. Cool. So I could see them doing that same thing again this year, especially with the schedule that you just read off. Cam, that, if their one loss is either to Louisville or to Notre Dame, which, I mean, I think the Notre Dame one is likely, obviously, but, I think Louisville is definitely one that I could see them pulling out. So who knows? Maybe they pull off the same thing. They go into the conference championship with one loss, undefeated in their conference, and they're playing Miami. Like, that very well could happen.
Yeah, but they still got clapped that year against Penn State in the playoffs. So
I'm not saying that they
I
make
don't
noise
know.
in the playoffs, but
you just saying make the playoffs?
are
Yeah,
they going to
make it to the
Could
playoffs.
Could they make the playoffs and steal a bid? Is the question that I have.
Yeah. This could be, I mean, in my opinion, this could be a year where something like that could happen, where a 2-loss ACC non-champion
Runner-up.
could make the playoffs. Because, I mean, just looking at SEC schedules, I mean, they're going to demolish each other at some point during the season. So it could open up 1 or 2 playoff spots. So, I mean, you could be right.
What do we think James Franklin can do year 1 at Virginia Tech?
Ooh.
8-4. That's where I think he'll finish. But I mean, who knows? 9-3 or 10-2 is there too. I mean, what's their schedule looking like? Is my question.
I'll bring it up for us.
Here's the thing about James Franklin, though. This is the perfect job for him. I mean,
It is.
absolutely
It really is.
perfect. Like, you're not facing the big dogs at the top of the Big Ten every year, so you don't have to worry about losing those 2 games like you do every single year. So, and I mean, if you remember when he was at Vandy, he was a lot of fun. He had Vandy on a good track. And so you're going to a school like Virginia Tech who wants to desperately love football again, but just hasn't quite had the pieces in place. Like, he's the type of guy that can get you those pieces. So 9-3 would be fun, though. I'm on board with that. I don't even know their schedule. Cam's got to pull it up.
Yeah,
I think this is all just coming from like the imagination of what can James Franklin do
Dude, it
year
was
1 at Virginia
100%.
Tech. I'm just like, man, like I don't even know what half their roster, what 99% of their roster looks like, but I'm just like all throwing it into the fact that, I mean, his roster is basically Penn State last year, so like,
Yeah.
but it's in the ACC. You're playing a weaker schedule just based off of the point that you're in the ACC and not the Big Ten. So I agree with you, Mason. This is the perfect job for him, man, because the expectations of winning a natty aren't there for him like every year. Like Penn State got to the point where it's like, hey, you win a natty or you're gone, which is what you just saw happen last year. Like Penn State wants to win. They're in the Big Ten. They feel like they deserve to be in that conversation every single year. Virginia Tech's just like, we just want to get back into the conversation. Like, we just want to have a seat at the table, and be at least like making the playoff at some point, maybe in the next 4 years. Like, that's all they're looking for.
Yeah. I just daydream of getting to November and Virginia Tech being relevant, popping on their game, and Enter Sandman is going crazy. I miss that time, and I'm ready for it again.
I need to see Enter Sandman when Virginia Tech is popping. I need to see it.
All right, so here we got their schedule ready to go. So here we got, again, if you're watching on YouTube, we got it on screen for you. If you're listening, hop on over there if you want to see it. So week 1, they got VMI. Week 2, they go Old Dominion. Then they play at Maryland. And then we get into their conference. So they go at Boston College. They have Pitt. Haven't even talked about Pitt. We got Pitt. Then at California, Georgia Tech. Haven't talked about Tech yet. At Clemson, at SMU, Stanford, at Miami, and then finishing with the rival with Virginia.
Can I just say this really quick? We just talked about that Enter Sandman moment. Hypothetically speaking, if they come into that Georgia Tech game undefeated, which is very possible, that place is going to be on a freaking wire. Like, it's going to be insane.
All right, hold up. What's going on with their first game in November against SMU? It's either on the 6th or the 7th.
Maybe it's one of those flex things. I don't know, dude. It's from their Instagram, apparently. I don't know what to tell you.
6-7.
Is it a midnight game? It goes into both? Shut up, Preston.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's got me distracted. I don't have anything else for you after that.
So I mean, Preston. I mean, I think it might even just be on tilt for the Pitt game. I mean, you're 4-0, probably against Maryland and Boston College. 4-0 going against Pitt. When's the last time that Virginia Tech was maybe having a little bit of hype? And Pitt's no slouch either. Pitt's always has been a contender in this conference since Pat Narduzzi got there. They got their quarterback coming back, so I mean they're a dangerous team too. I mean it could be on tilt then, and like you said, if they win that game and then go out west and beat Cal, you have the tough of you have to go out west then come back without a bye week in between either one of those to play games, which kind of sucks. Which is why this conference makes no freaking sense.
The Atlantic Coastal Conference with Pacific Coast teams make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense. And SMU, we'll throw them in there too. But those are, I mean, there's only one. I would say there's 2 games on here as I'm looking at the schedule that I would just go ahead and write in Sharpie as a loss, and that's the SMU game and the Miami game. Both of those on the road. The other ones, I mean, Georgia Tech could be tough. Pitt could be tough. I mean, they could be an 8-4 team, which would be, I think, a massive success. You go 8-4 year 1 with James Franklin. Am I wrong? Is that underperforming?
No,
I think
100%.
that's exactly where they need to be year 1. If you're 8-4 year 1 at Virginia Tech, that's the best they've been in years at that point. So yeah, I would definitely take it if I'm a Hokie fan. Oh yeah. Please sign me up for 8-4. We haven't seen a winning season in years. Please give me something.
I'd throw that Cal game in there too as a sneaky one, or a tough one for them. I mean, you're saying they're going to have to go all the way to California. Cal's got a very good quarterback as well, so that's one that could sneak up on them also.
Yeah. What about Georgia Tech?
I love their coach. I love Brent Key.
Yeah, he's a dog.
The only thing is that they lost their coordinator, which kind of sucks. But they have our Mendoza brother coming, so I don't know. I don't know how to think about Georgia Tech.
But they lost what? Haynes King and backup now at Florida, starting for Florida. So
yep.
Yeah, I mean they lost a quarterback, so they brought a quarterback in.
Yeah, but. Did Alberto do anything last year?
Alberto
Where was
Mendoza
he?
is that guy.
I was about to say he was at Indiana. No, but I'm saying, has he done anything before even being a backup at Indiana?
I think last year was his freshman year.
I think he was a backup at Cal too, maybe, or maybe he was always a backup at Indiana. I don't know.
Alberto Mendoza is an incredible name. Alberto.
Fernando Mendoza is an incredible name, man.
Yeah, incredible. Shouts to their parents. They really know how to name them.
Fernando by Ava. That's his theme song, man. Going into the Raiders game, they're going to play that as his walkout. I'm telling you right now. I'm betting money on it week 1. I got Mason off track there. Okay.
Oh, man. I'm just trying to think of other names that work. Bruno Mendoza.
Okay, so yeah, last year, 24, he was a true freshman. Last year, he was a redshirt freshman. So
He's
he
a
was
bum.
at Indiana before Mendoza transferred, before his brother transferred over. So he's just been a backup
To his brother the whole time?
So he's
What'd you say, Indiana?
No, the first year he was at Indiana before Fernando transferred, because in 2024 Fernando was at Cal. But Alberto was a true freshman, backup, redshirted 2024. I even forgot who the quarterback at Indiana was that year, but wasn't very good. And then last year he was the backup for his brother when he transferred over.
It was a dude Signetti brought with him from JMU.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah.
Now, do I remember his name?
Curtis O'Rourke.
Not at all. Oh, there we go.
Curtis O'Rourke, I think
what
it
a
was.
pool. What a pool.
He was pretty good too, man. Give him credit. He was a good quarterback. Yeah. I will say this. I don't think Georgia Tech is my favorite. Like, I mean, well, obviously Miami is the favorite in this conference, no doubt. But I don't know if they're my favorite to make it. I think SMU would probably be one of my favorites. SMU and Louisville. Georgia Tech, I mean, you mentioned it. They lost Haynes King and they lost Aaron Philo. Aaron Philo transferred to Florida. He's now our starter. And then Buster Faulkner. Like, that's a pretty deep cut, for one offseason to lose two of your key position players and also your offensive coordinator. So, and they just both so happen to come to us. So, I kind of have a little inside scoop on this, funny enough. But, yeah, I think Georgia Tech will still be good. Like, I do like Brent Key, but I don't see them making too much noise.
Just real quick, we'll look at the schedule. They do play Tennessee week 2, which is big. I think that's a neutral site game, maybe. I don't remember. But they start with Colorado. So, this is one of the few teams that actually has a pretty decent out-of-conference schedule. So, shout out to Georgia Tech because they have Colorado, Tennessee, Mercer, Georgia as their out-of-conference. So, shout out to Georgia Tech. So, they go Colorado week 1. Week 2, they got Tennessee. Week 3, they have Mercer. And then they go to Stanford. They play Duke, at Tech, Virginia Tech. Boston College at home, at Pitt, Louisville at home, at Clemson, Wake Forest, and then they finish with the old rivalry against Georgia, which they somehow can never win a game, unfortunately. It's a pretty tough schedule, for sure. I don't think they'll be nationally playoff relevant, but could be pretty fun to watch maybe in the ACC, but you have to go to Virginia Tech, have to go to Clemson. You play 2 SEC teams in your non-conference. Louisville's on your schedule. It's not easy for them with everything that they lost.
Yeah. I think I think it's kind of similar to Virginia Tech. It's not the same because James Franklin's going year 1, but I could see 8-4 for sure. Like, I think that Tennessee game is going to be tough. I can see them pulling it out, no doubt, but that's going to be a tough one. And then, like you said, Louisville, at Clemson, at Virginia Tech, at Pitt as well, and then you have Georgia. So, that's a pretty deep schedule for the ACC. I mean, I would imagine it's one of the top 5 strength of schedules in the ACC, I should say. So,
how long and how much time do we give Florida State?
none.
If any.
0. You knew that was going to be my answer.
Who? Who are we talking about? I don't even know who that is anymore.
Old Memphis Norvell over there.
Do I dare show their schedule? Here it is. It's a little blurry. That's kind of sucks, actually. New Mexico State. Week 2, SMU. Then Alabama. I mean, they're obviously going to beat Alabama because they won last year, right, Mason?
Yeah, 100%.
Who is that third one? Is that Missouri State, I think? It's so blurry,
Is it
guys.
Missouri State?
I think it's Missouri State.
We'll claim that. Might as well.
Maybe it's Clemson. No, it's Clemson. Wait, who is that?
That is not Clemson.
That is
at
not.
all.
Dude,
It's not
Clemson
Clemson.
is literally right there.
Yeah, Clemson's right below them.
Boston.
It's the paw,
wait,
dude.
no.
That's
Come
not Boston
on.
College
Oh
either.
my gosh.
I'm
talking
looking
about?
at some of these other schedules, and they don't make any sense. I'm sorry. Okay?
Cam,
I'm sorry.
you're gonna make me walk out, man.
Central Arkansas. That's who it is.
Never
Okay.
would have
In
gotten
case
there.
you guys didn't know. Central Arkansas.
No.
They'll win that one.
Virginia.
So 2 and 2.
Virginia, maybe.
2 and 3.
Maybe they'll win it. I know math is hard for you, Preston, but I've only named 4 games.
He said 2 and 2. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but then you said
He said,
Virginia
and then he
2
said
and 3.
2 and 3. So
2 and
yeah,
3 for
you
Virginia.
said Virginia.
Whatever. Has he fired yet? Is he fired after 2 and 3?
No, they can't afford to fire
No?
him yet.
Okay. Louisville, is he fired yet?
Okay,
No.
since I can't read it, can you tell me when the bye week is?
It's between Miami and Clemson. I could see them firing in.
Oh, I do see it now.
That's the perfect time.
That's what that little smudge is. Yep.
That's
right
the
after
perfect
that
time to
Miami
fire him.
game, that's when he's gone.
If they lose that Miami game and they lose it bad,
When
he's
they
done.
lose that Miami game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends on what the score is. Like, if they fight in that game, then maybe he lasts.
If they
another
only
week.
have 2 games still by then, like, I don't know, man. Here's what's gonna happen: they'll fire him, and then the one game that the interim wins is the Florida game, right?
No, he ain't winning that
That'll be the
interim
7th.
coach ain't
That'll be
winning
the
a
7th loss, and I'll get the
dang
Clippers
thing.
ready.
Nah. Ain't no reverse mohawk coming to this man. Nope. That's a perfect transition, by the way, to the SEC. Let's do that. Let's go ahead.
We
and move on.
haven't even picked who's going to win the conference yet. Okay?
Oh,
We can't do
whatever,
that
dog.
yet.
I
We're
don't.
not there
Miami.
yet. We're
There we
not
go.
there yet.
Miami. Miami's
All right,
my pick.
listen,
Move on.
Real quick.
We've talked about this too long.
How long does Bill Belichick make it? How many games we're going to give him?
Bill Belichick or his girlfriend? Who's running the team right now?
Yes.
They're not making it through the year. Whichever one of them is in charge, they're getting canned immediately. They're not making it through the year.
Okay.
Just fire him before
Mason,
the
who's in the
TCU
conference
game.
championship game?
Right now I have Miami playing SMU, and I've got Miami winning the conference.
Preston?
I think it'll be Miami and SMU. After looking at that schedule for SMU, I like SMU. But I think Miami's going to win the conference. That's my pick.
Man, all 3 of us on the same page. Who would have thought it?
No,
Miami
I'm changing
and
immediately.
SMU.
All right,
Miami, Louisville.
It's too late.
Miami,
You've
Louisville.
already said it.
Miami,
You've already
Louisville.
said it.
I'm changing.
No, it's already locked in.
This is bad
It's
luck.
already locked
Oh.
in.
Okay, I'm going last next time.
We're all
Well,
about to be
I
wrong
don't think
now.
we're gonna have. I don't think we're gonna have many issues of us being different for the next one. So I don't foresee that being a problem for you, Mason. But we'll go ahead. That is our ACC preview. Right on time. 20
Thank
minutes.
you.
Easy.
Oh, my gosh.
You can tell that Preston loves the ACC. Okay, you can tell. It's great.
Hey!